Birmingham is a young, diverse city. I think if we were to actually look at how cities have grown in the last 20 years, it's almost been the competitive, the growing is the important thing. What we need to do is we actually have to have sustainable, inclusive growth. If we want to be a successful city, we have to change the way that cars and people move about this city. If we want to have a healthy population, we have to address air pollution. If we actually want to start ensuring that people do feel safe, secure in this city, then we have to look at their homes. We have too many people who live in fuel poverty in this city. To me, that all joins up into a way and an opportunity for us to truly put the green economy at the heart of the development and growth of this city. We established the Green Commission some 2 years ago to really start to draw on the combined knowledge and understanding of business, the universities, the voluntary sector, or anyone who'd got an interest in the green economy. For me, what we actually had a bit of an issue with at this point in time, that climate change is everyone's problem but nobody's priority. And actually what we've started to do is set out a roadmap that said we want to reduce our carbon emissions by 60% by 2027. And what we've done is bring together a whole range of people who've got the level of skills and ability to actually now be in a position to intervene and take stuff forward to the market that will turn this city into a real green city.
Birmingham Connected is our 20-year vision for how we're going to improve the transport networks here in Birmingham and the wider region, and we're going to be looking at how we can do that in the most sustainable way, moving people and goods around as quickly and as efficiently as possible. The transport infrastructure in itself enables quite a lot of other things, so it's important for our economy so that we can have development here in Birmingham and we can get people to and from the places that they need to be. It's important to make sure our communities are well connected so that they can get those opportunities in terms of training and jobs. As part of our transport future, we're already building new tram infrastructure and we've got funding for additional extensions to that tram network as well. We're looking at how we can extend that further so that we can get more people onto public transport, and then to complement that we've also got a planned network for bus rapid transit corridors, what we call Sprint, and again that is about moving more people efficiently in better sustainable vehicles. We're looking at what the future fuel requirements will need to be and the infrastructure that supports that. So we've already rolled out some of the electric charging points here in the city, but we're also looking at what the future technologies will be and how we can cater for those future technologies in terms of our refuelling infrastructure. So we're planning for our cycling infrastructure, and we've already started to build a lot of off-road routes through our canal network and through our green spaces. And we're looking at those safe on-road routes as well, on quiet roads, but also looking at some of the main corridors. And as part of that, that's to get people travelling on local journeys in a more active way, so it's good for their health as well as good for the environment in terms of removing cars off the network and therefore improving air quality at the same time.
Like North Birmingham, we teach people to learn to ride. We do learn to ride classes and ditch the stabiliser for children. People come along, it may be a mother of two who's never ridden a bike in her life, and it's fantastic to see the way that she learns to get her balance, then learns to pedal, and then learns to ride. I live on the north side of Birmingham, and I've now found that I can cycle all the way into Birmingham along cycle tracks. They've all been surfaced properly and all been cleaned recently. Cycling is said to get you out and get you fit, but the people that I meet when I'm out cycling are out there having fun.
It's a real surprise to most people, both visitors to the city and residents, just how green Birmingham is. There's 591 public parks that are completely free and accessible, 3,500 hectares of land. Nearly a quarter of the city is actually covered with tree canopy, and the benefits that that brings are enormous. The major threats to our health aren't waterborne diseases like they were in Victorian days. They're non-communicable diseases. They're things like heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, dementia, depression. And the fascinating thing is the medics have now drilled into this, and they've discovered that the key source of all those non-communicable diseases is chronic stress. Not the outcome, but the actual medical cause is chronic stress. We now know through science and medicine that actually a daily dose of nature is just huge, the impact it has on people to help them de-stress, help them relax, help them get over illnesses, and particularly mental stress and well-being. And we're innately hardwired to respond positively to nature. That's what the brain does. As soon as it hears birdsong or running water, endorphins kick in the brain and we feel better. Even if we don't want to, it still happens. And yet the way we've designed our cities and packaged our cities around the world has generally missed that point. And so what we've been working with are government scientists, university scientists, particularly in Birmingham, on how we can now produce a new set of city accounts that shows not only the cost, of course it costs money to run places like this, but actually what are the values that those are bringing back to the city, and how can that feed into the economy? Not to be seen just as an environmental issue, but actually how does it address health? How does it address successful business? How does it affect property price? And only last year, Birmingham was invited to join a new network of global cities called biophilic cities. They're cities where they've got the idea that actually human health and well-being and a happy future and a quality of life and a place that people want to come and live and invest in is about that connectivity with nature.
This is the largest allotment in England, and we're trying to go self-sufficient. A lot of plot holders here, they grow all types of vegetables, especially all different back ethnic groups who are here. They bring their own varieties from other countries as well. Water here at the allotments are very expensive to use because people have to use water. So we decided that we're using water bots and big tanks. It's very important for residents who don't have gardens at home that they should come to the allotments. It's very good for your health. You don't have to pay for the gym to do your exercises. And when you're growing your fresh fruit, it's also tasty. When you're buying it, it's not that tasty, but the food you grow, it's so satisfactory that it's, you've grown it and you know how you've grown it and what's in it. We have got space for people who would love to come, and they're welcome to here, and we will help them.
Birmingham District Energy Scheme is pivotal in making Birmingham a greener city. The scheme features trigeneration, producing heat, electricity and chilled water to a number of prestigious buildings in the city centre, including the Town Hall, the Council House and the Library of Birmingham. The scheme is made up of 3 separate district heating networks: Broad Street, Eastside and Birmingham Children's Hospital. And we're currently in the process of interconnecting the Broad Street scheme with the Eastside scheme, also incorporating Birmingham New Street Station into the system. The benefits for businesses of being on the scheme include energy and whole life cost savings, carbon savings and space savings, as there's no requirement for on-site plants. The interconnection presents a number of opportunities for the scheme to incorporate and add on new buildings and entities onto the system, which would further decarbonise the city centre.
So Severn Trent Water, hopefully most people recognise us as a company that serves the Midlands for water supply and waste removal. But what a lot of people don't know about us is that we also have a part of the business where we generate renewable energy from people's waste. So in Birmingham we treat 2.1 million people's worth of sewage sludge here at our main site at Minworth in Sutton Coalfield. The waste comes down the sewers to us every single day. We remove the solid parts of that and we treat it in a process known as anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion is like a series of giant cow stomachs which contain a lot of bacteria. Those bacteria break down the waste and give off methane gas. We can then use that methane gas to either power our combined heat and power engines, and what that allows us to do is reduce customers' bills and to make sure we run it in the most efficient manner. Or we can clean it up and put it into the national grid where it's as good as natural gas in the network. Going forward, we have a very large expansion programme that we're looking to do. Severn Trent Water is investing another £190 million over the next 5 years, looking at expanding our operations in renewable energy.
Northwood Eco Centre was set up in 2009 by Central England Quakers to work with the local community to help them create more sustainable ways of living. We've always focused around sort of energy, sort of gardening and food growing. The food growing has kind of started here in the garden where we've kind of taken a piece of wasteland and slowly developed it. 2 years ago we got some funding to plant trees in the local area, which was fruit and nut trees that are all in publicly accessible areas, so in theory people could go and have free food at points. And there's going to be some community gardens where people can all go and there'll be courses and projects run from there. But also they'll be supporting people to grow food in their own gardens and giving them all the advice and knowledge and seeds. So we do two lots of energy assessments. We do what they call domestic, which is housing and people's homes, and non-domestic, which is everything from public buildings, businesses, museums, churches, and also we've got some project funding to look at fuel poverty and helping people reduce their bills.
I'm John Christophers and I'm an architect, and this is the Zero Carbon House. It uses no fossil fuels, no new carbon is put into the atmosphere in the running of the house. And in fact it's even better than that because we get paid for the electricity that we generate, so we actually have an income of about £1,700 a year. Really the way that we have made the house work like this is that we have kept all the heat in the house. Most houses are like leaky sieves really. The heat that goes into them goes straight out again, and in comparison the draft seals, the draft stripping, the air tightness membranes keep all the heat which is in that house in it. The rainwater is filtered into a tank which we've put in the old cellar of the existing house. So everywhere where we don't need fresh water, we're using reclaimed water. The other thing we wanted to do with this house was really to look at using the power of architecture to inspire people that green doesn't have to be dull. The quality of the natural light which comes from above is about 5 times stronger than the light that comes through a window. So using the top light as we've done in the house means that there's only 1/5 of the heat loss, and that means that we need only 1/5 of the glass to get the same amount of light. You think about the energy you're using to run the bath and that it's all come from the sun that day. You think about the energy you're going to use to go into the city to a concert that night, and that you can actually go on your bicycle rather than in the car. There are so many different aspects of our lifestyles where we can make small choices, each of which add up to a very big difference. At the moment we're using the resources for 3 planets, and we haven't got 3 planets at our disposal, so if we can rein them back but we can maintain a very good quality of life, then I think we have a bright future ahead of us.